Hi guys, this is Giselle, and today have Daniel Marshall. He is an online financial coach for couples. He helps couples get out of debt so they can stress less and live more. He works on a one-on-one private conversation. Welcome, Daniel.
Yeah, thanks, Giselle. Thanks so much for inviting me on today to have a chat with you. I'm super pumped to talk about this because I'm truly passionate about it. Yeah, just really grateful that I'm here talking with you this morning.
Amazing, amazing. Okay, my first question is why are you an online financial coach for couples?
Yeah, okay. Well, I guess I'll tell a little bit of the story of kind of how I got to this point.
Yes, please.
Um, yeah, so I was in a kind of a long-term relationship with my partner,
Mm,
and I guess I've always been quite fascinated with money and investing and personal finance and also personal development. And one day I was going to a place called Port Lincoln to see my financial advisor. And I took my partner Casey with me just for a drive down, just to talk about my money.
mm,
I brought her along for the journey, but I had no intentions of, I mean, we were running our money separately at this time. So we went to see this financial advisor who was fantastic. And in the conversation, he ended up talking to Casey and myself about it. So he kind of got her involved as well. And it was about a 2.5 hour conversation with this guy. And it was fantastic. And on the drive home back to Whyalla, where I'm from, we started talking about money and the possibility of actually joining our finances together. And I'd never ever actually thought about that before in my life because it had always been about me and my money and me building, whatever I wanted to build. But something just clicked at me in that meeting, and I was like, well, if I'm committed to this girl, maybe we should start working together as a team.
mm.
And pretty much from that point on, we made the decision to combine our money. Now, at this stage, we weren't engaged or anything like that.
Mm,
And I was actually terrified. I was very fearful of getting married and committing 100%
mm,
to someone. And and since that moment we decided to combine our money, like our relationship just improved and our communication started to improve and we were talking about more things. And within another 6 months, I actually proposed to her. So we got engaged shortly after that. And yeah, I know. And then so just this January, so we got married in January basically. So we combined our money probably about 18 months ago or something like that.
mm.
And since then, our relationship has just gone from strength to strength to strength. And now I want to give that back to other people, other couples who are struggling with money because money is such an emotional topic and so many people really do struggle with it. And I've noticed a dramatic change in my life since Casey and myself have got on the same page. And now I'm being able to help other couples get on the same page and watching them change, not just financially, but as people and as a couple. It's just so rewarding. And that's why I'm doing what I do. And I absolutely love it.
That's so amazing because personally, years back, I was having panic attacks according to money
Mm,
because I didn't have money, and
mm,
now I don't have any panic attack. I don't have the anxiety which I did, and it's so interesting this conversation because it's about that. Is why we suffer or we feel so stressed about money, and when now you can help couples and people to everybody who wants to know about that.
yeah, 100%. And it's hard because in a relationship, there's two different people, and we've both been brought up with money differently.
Yes,
Because um, because when we're kids, all of our beliefs are formed at a young age,
yes,
and depending on our families and the culture or the environment we were brought up in, we're going to have completely different beliefs as adults. So when two people come together with these different beliefs, there can be a lot of conflict and a lot of issues around money because we've been brought up with different values. And that's why it's so important to actually talk to your partner about, I guess, how they grew up with it, what it means to them, so you can start working together as a team and yeah, overcoming these challenges that we all face.
yeah. I remember back in time in November, I was coaching a couple, and
Mm,
according to their relationship, and then appeared their relationship towards money, and it's
yeah,
like the girl was buying stuff a lot, like I want a new shoes, I want new
yeah,
clothes, And the guy's like, no, it's saving money to buy property and invest them, invest the money.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and they say, hey guys, what is the money language? Yeah, they are the love languages, but what about money language? I can see you're spending spend, and he's like a saving. So what is happening here? So I see what you're doing. That is amazing.
Definitely, and that's a really interesting one. The spender versus the saver in a relationship, because sometimes there can be two savers or two spenders or a mix. So every dynamic can be a bit different. So it's pretty fascinating to see. So yeah, and that can be a lot of conflict if one is a saver or one is a kind of a high consumption spender. So that's definitely where some conflict can arise at times.
Yeah. So what do you think changes in the relationship when the couple improve the relationship with money?
Personally, from my own experience and the couples I've been working with, their whole relationship transforms individually and as a couple, because money, I guess money just causes a lot of stress and anxiety. And once that kind of pressure can be released, you can start. Probably the number one thing is communication, actually, because once you actually start talking about it together, it's not so scary. And it's just, it's when things are hidden in the dark, that it's no good to anyone. But once you kind of bring it to light and start talking about it, it's not as scary as it once seems. So I've just noticed that just when people have started improving their money and their finances, it's just their relationship. I can see it on their faces, like from the moment I start with them to later on, just how much it's changed and how much growth I see them as individuals and couples. And yeah, just communication, teamwork, and working towards a common goal and dream for their relationship. It's just massive. It's so much bigger than just the money.
Okay, that is so important. It's a lot of stuff comes to my mind because it's. Do you have a couple of examples of what are the problems the couples have? So, for example, the couple I mentioned to you before. So the girl spent the money, and the guy wanted to save it to create wealth. So how do you help them to think at the same path? Because usually it's what you were saying about how we grew up with those certain beliefs related to money is what we do now in the present. So do you have a couple of examples of the couples you help?
Yeah, well, there's a couple of different examples I could talk about. Well, specifically what you were just talking about then, I guess the most important thing for me initially when I'm working with a couple is actually understanding what both of them value about money. Because like you were saying, someone might really value wealth and the other one values family or security or something like that. And there's a bit of a conflict. So that's where just talking about it and communicating and actually understanding what your partner values about money and what it means to them. That's the first step to actually getting on the same page, because you might have, your values may be different, but you can still work it through and talk it through to get some common ground so you can work towards your goals as individuals and your goals as a couple. But for me, probably from what I've seen and the people I'm working with, it's, they're earning really good income, but they just don't know where it's going. So that's the big thing. So I actually am working with some high income earners, but they're still struggling to make ends meet, pay week to pay week. And they're living paycheck to paycheck because they don't know how to manage their money and they just have no idea where it's going. So communication and just getting clarity on where you are right now are probably the two most important steps.
I think that is scary for some people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember me back in time. It's like, no, I don't want to know about my money situation at all. It's just look in the bank account. It's like, it was so afraid of it. And yeah, what do you think about it? How can we face it? Well, that was me back in time, but maybe there are couples who don't want to face it and they just prefer credit cards and they, I don't know, they are in debt, increasing debt instead of off of debt.
Yeah. Well, you're dead right. It can be very uncomfortable and confronting to face not just money issues, but any issues in life, because we all have our own issues. And for some people, that's their money. but it's just something you gotta lean into it, you know, even though it's uncomfortable. You just have to do it, because if you don't do it, what's going to happen? You're just going to keep on going in this vicious cycle for years on, and you're just going to get more unhappy, more stressed, more anxious. It's going to be bad for your health, bad for your relationships, bad for everything. So as uncomfortable and as confronting as it is, you just have to do it. And even if it's just a baby step at first, and just slowly ease into it. But unfortunately, there's no easy path to it. You've just got to face it on head first and say, take responsibility and say, this is where I am right now. Maybe I'm not happy with it, but at least I know where I am now, and this is what we need to do moving forwards.
Yeah, I see. Because about the facing it, in my case personally, was beyond shame. And of course, shadows, and we don't want to face something. We as coaches, we know what does this mean, and as well, yeah, externally is, yeah, take responsibility, but internally it's like shame. It is a lot of issues in there, where we like as well, the under function is like we want to be taking care of somebody else, like somebody else taking care of us in order to guide us, because saying, hey, take responsibility for your money is like you know. So that was me personally, so back in time. But of course now it's different. But I'm saying how it was, and how it was for me a challenge to face it. It was very under functioning and a lot of shame on it. So, and then for me to go through shame to move on in order just to check my bank account, that was a big thing, you know. And from there it's like, okay, and then for me was taking responsibility and to see, okay, this is my income and this is are my expenses, and this is the over expenses where I don't need to spend, you know. And it was sincerely, for me, it was a journey. So I can see that as well for couples. It can be a journey, like a first is within themselves, like each person, and then as a couple, and then is the goal to create wealth or to work as a team, how you were saying.
Yeah, 100%. And that's really fascinating to hear a bit of your story as well. And if you don't mind me asking, like, how do you feel now compared to how you were back then financially?
Good question. I feel more calm, because I know my income, I know my expenses, and as well I know what I want. But before, sincerely, my story was all the time, if I have money, I go shopping, like clothes and food, full the house with clothes and food. But now it's like, I don't need that clothes. No, I don't need clothes. I don't need too much food. I manage my money very well now.
It's awesome to hear, because it's so empowering when you do take control of your money. And people say, you know, money can't buy happiness, which is true. But I'll tell you what, life is a lot more stress-free when you do have control of your money. So it's just so important to not disrespect. Yeah.
I like that saying, because if people say money cannot buy happiness, but the poor cannot rent it either. So, well, that is more in Spanish, not in English. But about to that is more related to the emotion, because personally I was so like anxious. It's like a feeling the panic attack. It's like, how I'm going to pay this up. It's like sincerely, I was so bad about it. It was huge every night panic attack according to money. So it's not money. It's about how can I pay my bills? How can I pay this? How can I pay that? And that was a panic attack. So if for example, in back in time, somebody give me, for example, $20,000 and pay off my debt, it's like, oh, I'm fine. So no more panic attack, no more anxiety. And from there, my clarity is like, it's not stress in my mind, not overthinking, overanalyzing. I'm talking like a person, but it was in the past. And it's exactly if in that time, if somebody say, hey, here you have 20,000 or 10,000, just pay off your debt, and I pay it off. It's like, fine, now I can have a mocha in a restaurant, you know? But sincerely, it's not related only to the money, it's the emotion we put towards it.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
So that was sorry, something to say,
Oh, yeah, I was just going to say, it's definitely, Yeah, because all the anxiety and the stress that you feel from the money, that's going to have other implications in your life as well, because your health is going to be affected if you're feeling anxious and stressed out. Your relationships are going to be feeling it as well. Your career, everything's going to be feeling the pinch. So that's why releasing that stress and anxiety from the money just flows onto all other aspects of your life. So that's why it's really powerful what I'm doing with couples,
Hmm.
because people think it's just about the money and numbers on a spreadsheet, but it's not. Like, that's a tangible benefit, but it's all the other flow-on effects, which is what's really amazing and transformational for people.
Yeah, so true. It's so true what you're saying because it's like a ripple effect. So back
Mm,
in time, if back in time, I remember when I was stressed about money, it's like the only conversation with my friend was, "Oh, I don't have money for this, I don't have money for that." So all the time was complaining. So
mm,
now that conversation that doesn't exist, and it's
mm,
what we do is like, of course, what we are living about the pandemic and all of this stuff, and then what we are going to move forward and how we are going to move forward and to appreciate what we like our freedom, just get out of the house.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's like another kind of conversation. It's no more
Mm,
about complaining related to money, and that's why when we complain, it's like more increases. So
mm. Yeah, definitely. And another big topic, I guess, was the scarcity. And this pandemic has brought out a lot of that. The toilet paper hoarding, it's the scarcity mindset, the never having enough. And it's a huge mindset, which a lot of people do have, not having enough, holding on to what they've already got, too scared to let go of what they have. But the way to conquer this scarcity mindset and move to an abundance mindset is to start giving, giving your time to causes which mean a lot to you, or giving money, because when you're giving, it feels so much better than when you're getting. And when you can give, straight away it's taking the focus off yourself and onto others. And that's how you can live an abundant life and a rich life right now and overcome that scarcity mindset.
that is so good. Good point that you touch about the toilet paper because in my case, I don't watch the news. I didn't know what was happening. But maybe
Yeah.
the news were saying like we are afraid to run out of toilet paper, and
Mm.
the animal brain, reptilian, is like and
Yeah.
it's so important about the scarcity mindset and the abundance mindset. But
Mm.
that I think I'm sure that is what you do because you can help them in their finances, but you as a coach, you can read their behavior, you can read what is happening in their mind.
Yeah, and that's it. And that's probably an important point to touch on, because a lot of people with the services I offer, I'm a financial coach, which is different to a financial planner or a financial advisor.
Mm.
A financial advisor or planner, they're more looking for people's long-term wealth, helping them buy assets and investments. Whereas for me as a financial coach, I'm more helping people with their everyday finances, like managing their cash flow, and also what you just touched on, the mindset around money. Because you can have the best strategies and systems in the world, but if your mindset isn't in the right place, it's going to be worthless. So as a coach, that's what I can help people with, creating a powerful mindset so that they can do well with their money.
Mm. That is
Mm,
fabulous. That is so fabulous.
mm.
So where if the people who's watching this video today, where they can find you?
Yeah, probably I'm mostly active on Instagram, at Daniel Marshall Coaching. And I've also got a Facebook page as well, at Daniel Marshall Coaching, which I'm fairly active on as well. So if you want to find out a little bit more about me and what I offer, I'd head to both of those. Um, yeah, that's probably it. That's probably the best places to catch me, I reckon.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much for watching, guys. And I'm going to write all of what he said in the description below. If you have any question, just send it to him, PM him, or write in the comments below. If this information is serving you, you can share with somebody who need it as well. So thank you so much, guys, for watching, and thank you, Daniel. I really appreciate you are here today.
Thank you so much. It's been awesome chatting with you. I've absolutely loved our conversation, and hopefully the people watching have learned something as well. So yeah, thank you so much.
Cool. So see ya, Daniel, and see ya, guys. See ya next
See you
time.
guys.